Welcome friends. In this video we'll start the classification of shells. After that we'll see characteristic of true membrane. So we'll start with the classification of shells. In the previous video we have discussed the definition of shell. Shells are nothing but the curved structure in which one dimension, that is thickness, is smaller as compared to the other two dimensions. Now shells are broadly classified as a singly curved and doubly curved shells. So singly curved shells are those which are developable. Means if suppose a cylindrical shell is there, we can convert this shell into a rectangular plane without stretching it or without shrinking or tearing it. Similarly, a cone may be developed into a sector circle. So such type of cells are called as singly curved cells because they are developable. The second type is doubly curved, which are non-developable. So this type of shells will not tend to flatten out under the loads. Further classification of shell surfaces can be attempted on the basis of Gauss curvature. And the sub classification is based on whether the shell is translational surface, ruled surface, or revolution. So I will directly show you the tree diagram of the classification. So that you will get idea about how the thin shells are classified. So I am specifying thin shells. We have already defined what are the thin shells. So this is a tree diagram for shells. We can see that thin shells are classified in main two types, singly curved and doubly curved. Again, this singly curved shells are classified into three types, that is shells of revolution, shells of translation, and ruled surface. So we have also the examples of the shells according to the type. So shells of revolutions can be conical shells, or the second type for which the example is cylindrical shell, and for third type the example is conical and cylindrical shell. Again, this doubly curved shells are divided in two types, that are synclastic and anticlastic. So we have also the description about the types. So we don't want to go into that deep study. So if you keep the names of types of shells with you, it will be enough for you. So this is the tree diagram for the classification of shell. Now we'll move towards the next point, that is assumption made in the theory of thin elastic shell. So we'll see assumptions made in theory of thin elastic shell. So first assumption is that stresses in z direction. Is neglected in comparison with sigma x and sigma y. Stress in z direction is neglected. So this is our first assumption. Now second assumption is straight line normal to the undeformed middle surface remains straight and normal to the deformed middle surface. So second assumption is that straight line normal to undeformed surface, it remains normal, undeformed middle surface remains normal after deformation also. So third assumption is that displacements are small enough so that the changes in geometry of shell are negligible for equilibrium. So uh, third assumption is that displacements are small. Displacements are, I'll repeat that, displacements are small enough so that the changes in geometry of shell are negligible for equilibrium. So this is our third assumption. And the fourth one is the material is linearly elastic. Elastic and homogeneous. So this is our fourth assumption. So those are the assumptions which are made in the theory of thin elastic shells. Okay. After this we'll see characteristics of true membrane. So first characteristic of true membrane is that it must be very thin. It must be very thin and uniform in thickness. Uniform in thickness. Any abrupt change in thickness is not permitted. So it should be very thin and uniform in thickness. If there is any change in abrupt change in thickness, it should not be permitted. So this is first character of true membrane. Now second characteristic, the acting load must be continuously distributed over membrane surface. So that acting load must be uniformly distributed over membrane surface, and the intensity of loading must be constant. So that is second characteristic. Now third characteristic is that it must be perfectly flexible at any point on membrane middle surface, can have a full freedom of displacement along the normal surface to that point. So this is our third assumption. I'll repeat the third assumption again. It must be perfectly flexible at any point on middle surface, so that it can have full freedom of displacement along the normal surface to that point. Okay, so it should be flexible is key point for this. Now next characteristic is that the internal forces at any point, that is, if any support is provided at the point, should be directed along the tangent at that point of the membrane surface. So this is our fourth assumption. I will repeat the assumption characteristic number 4 again. The internal forces at any point should be directed along the tangent at the point of the membrane surface. Okay, so directed along tangent. So this is our fourth characteristic of true membrane. So these are the characteristics of true membrane. So we'll see the derivation regarding the theory of membrane in the next video. Thank you.